guys, this is Kate from Teacher Kids Code. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this. It is a 3D pen napkin holder. It's pretty easy to make with the template here, and it's going to make a great decor item for your Thanksgiving or fall table. I think it looks really nice. This is something that older kids can definitely do as a craft project, extracurricular, through a STEM club, and so I will leave the link for the template in the description of this YouTube video so that you can check it out and try it for yourself. So let's get started with this tutorial. I downloaded my template, which again is found in the link in the YouTube description, and I have laminated it, okay? So I laminate all these templates. You can do it on regular paper, but you're gonna get maybe a little bit of sticking to the paper. It might peel off. You won't be able to use it more than once. Once you laminate the templates, then you can use it multiple times. If you mess up, you can just peel it off and try again. Laminating makes a big difference in being able to use a 3D pen, so just laminate your templates. If you don't have a laminator, they are super cheap on Amazon. I'll link to the one that I use, but if you don't, you could also take packing tape and just tape over the paper, and that will give you the same effect. So that's another option if you don't have a laminator. I'm going to be using the MYNT 3D Super Pen. I like this pen for this particular project because there are some little intricate details here, and I like that with this pen you hold this button down, and every time you release it, the filament stops extruding, so it's easier to do these more fine details on the stems that I'm going to be drawing here. So I do like that. For this, it does PLA and ABS, but I am going to be using PLA. I've got two different colors of PLA that I'm going to be using today. I've got an orange and a red, and I'll link both of those in the description. And I made this one earlier just to show you what it's going to look like. We're going to make a similar one, but let's reverse the colors just to see if we like it better with reversed colors for this tutorial. So let's start by loading up our filament into our 3D pen. So like I said, I'm going to start with the outline. So I'm going to start with my red filament. Just got to find the end here. And so I'm going to insert the filament into the back of the 3D pen, and I'm going to press the forward button, and then it's going to start extruding the filament through the hot end of the pen. You'll see it come out soon. I'm just going to give myself a lot of extra filament to work with as I go forward here. It does take a little bit of time for that filament to get through the pen. You can see I was using orange earlier, so first there's some orange coming out, and now it's slowly transitioning to that red color. Okay, so I will just let that quickly dry. I can peel it off here, and then I'm just gonna get used to the feeling of the pen. I do this every time. I'm just gonna try to make some nice lines. When you're drawing with a 3D pen, so those are a little bit bubbly or bulgy. I either want to change my speed so I can extrude faster and go at the same pace, or I want to actually just go faster with my pen. You do want your pen to touch the paper so that you get nice adhesion. If you go above the paper, what you're going to get is you're going to get like lots of ribboning like this, right? So you don't want to go above the paper. You want to go right on the paper, but you also don't want to go too hard on the paper, because if you go too hard on the paper, then you might actually get little areas that are thin, and you're not getting a strong enough line here. So let's get going. We've practiced a little bit, and now what we're going to do is we are going to start drawing the outline of the leaf. I'm left-handed, so I like to work in a up-down or right-left pattern when I'm drawing, so I will adjust my paper accordingly. But if you're right-handed, which most people are, you are going to reverse this, right? So you're going to actually want to work in a left-right pattern. But I am one of the lucky left-handed people out there. So I'm just going through and I'm just tracing the outline of my leaf to start, trying to get a nice line. I like my line to be a little bit thicker here. We got it at a relatively fast extrusion speed. You already notice that I am peeling the little stringy bits after each time I extrude the pen. You do have to be careful with that. Sometimes you will pull and the whole thing will come up. And so you kind of got to get a feeling for that. Okay, so I've done the outline. Now I'm going to outline inside the leaf. Again, I'm going to do up, down with my pen. Okay, so I've got that, so you can see there's my outline so far, and now I'm going to go and do the finer details. I don't know what these are called. Are they leaf veins, or I don't know what they're called, but that's what I'm going to be filling in now. And I do want to try to stick to my left, right. Those ones gave me a little bit of trouble. Came out a little bit more bubbly than I would like. I'm going to try to stick to my up, down. Okay, so now I have outlined the whole leaf. You can see it here. I do a little bit of stringy pieces. I am a bit worried if I pull them, I'm going to pull the whole thing off. You can actually use, and I'll use this later, some tweezers to actually just cut those strings off and not worry about pulling the design off the paper, because I want it to stay on the paper. So now I am going to switch colors, and I am going to fill in the leaf with the orange filament. So in order to do that, I'm going to first need to unload this filament. So I'm going to press the back button, the unload button on this pen, and you're going to see that the filament is going to come out the other end. Again, it does take a few seconds for that to happen. And now let's load up my next PLA, my orange PLA. Again, I've linked all of the PLA that I used in this tutorial in the YouTube description. Here we go. There comes the orange, and then I'll just draw there. Okay, so when we fill in, we want to make sure that we're not just kind of randomly filling in. We want to go again with that up-down pattern or a side-to-side pattern so that we can really nicely fill in this leaf. And that up-down pattern is just going to make it look more professional and polished when you have your leaf peeled off the paper. So I'm going to go through and fill in every single white hole with this up-down pattern, and let's speed that up for you now. Alright, so now we filled in with the orange our leaf, and we're going to work on the ring. Now we will come back to this and we're going to add a little bit more red, because you can see that with adding in the orange we've lost some of the red here, so we're going to do a second layer of red. But let's look at the orange again now for the ring. So for the ring we're going to actually sort of do more of a a 3D type of drawing, because we're going to draw our outline and then we're going to build several layers to build this up so that it's thick enough to hold our napkin. Done a few, an outline along the ring, and then I'm going to use that back and forth method to fill it in. It does help, I was rushing a little bit, but it does help to turn it so that I can really just get in that comfortable up-down direction. Okay, we are going to do that 3 or 4 more times, so let's put this on high speed mode now. So you can see that this has got some thickness to it now, and you could go even thicker if you wanted by adding more layers. All right, let's do one more time with the red. We're going to unload again. So I've got the red loaded, and now we're going to go over that outline one more time on high speed. All right, there you can see our finished design. So now you can see the red a little bit better that we added a second layer. It gives it a little bit more strength and thickness as well. And now we're going to take these off the paper and we're going to combine them into the napkin ring. All right, so once you've given it a little bit of time for your design to cool, then they should just come off the laminated paper super easy, which is one of the reasons why I really like using the laminated paper. Probably could have done 2 layers of the orange as well, and then maybe a 3rd layer of the red. I do see it's a little bit see-through, so I could go back and do that if I wanted. I'm going to go through too and clean up some of these little loose stray kind of hairs. It's best to use a set of tweezers like I'm using, because if you use your fingers and you just pull at them, you might actually pull apart your plastic. I have certainly done that before. So we'll go through and clean this up, and it looks great. And now what I want to do is I'm going to attach this ring to the back of the leaf so that it can be used as a napkin ring. So this is where your pen is really going to act more like a glue gun, and we are just going to essentially glue this right on by adding a bunch of layers to support it. So I'm not really being artistic here. I'm just going to be putting a whole lot of filament along the edge of this ring. Build it up, and then I'm going to do an up and down motion to really create a nice support bridge there. So that's one side. You can see that it's already pretty strong, but I'm going to do the other side as well. Again, same thing. I'm just essentially putting a whole bunch of filament to stabilize this ring, and then I'm going to go up and down, create a bridge. For extra support, I might even go all the way over. And flip it around and connect those pieces. PLA filament is pretty strong once it has hardened. It's not as strong as ABS, but it does the trick when it comes to this napkin holder. Have a little bit of extra pieces here, so I'm going to take my tweezers again and remove those. A few more strings that I see, and so I'll get those off. But now this is hardened and it's actually quite strong. So let's take a look at our design. So as you can see, I did 2 color schemes. I had one with the orange on the outside and one with the red on the outside. I think I'm liking the one with the red on the outside. Let's see how this one looks on the napkin. So I'm taking the middle of my napkin, I'm gonna thread my ring through there, and I really like the way that looks. I think this is gonna look great on the dinner table. Such an easy, simple, quick craft, perfect for older kids. You do want to take caution with younger kids because of the hot end, so make sure with any age kids that you are supervising them. But this was a really fun craft that's also going to be really useful for my Thanksgiving table. Hope you enjoyed this 3D pen tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.